Hi everyone. In today's science experiment, we're going to observe convection. Convection is when hot fluids want to rise and cold fluids want to go down. For this experiment, we'll probably want parents, guardian, or staff to help us collect all the items. We're going to need 6 cups of the same shape and size, cold water, hot water that isn't boiling, a tray, food coloring, and lastly, playing cards or paper that's covered with wax. We can pause here to get our supplies. Now that we got our supplies, we can begin our very messy experiment. So for the first part of our experiment, we're going to see that cold water does not rise. So what we're going to do is we're going to get our 2 cups that are empty, and we're going to put them side by side on the tray. Next, we're going to get our food coloring, and we're going to use blue. We're just going to put a couple drops in 1 cup. Next, we're going to get our cold water, and we're going to pour it inside the cup until it overflows, and it's all right if it spills. That's why we have the tray. Next, we're going to get our hot water, and we're going to put it in the 2nd cup. Next, we're going to get our card, and we're going to put it on top of the hot water. I'm going to put it so it's firmly on there. And then the next step, we're going to need to quickly flip it over on top of the other cup. Make sure that it aligns, and then we're going to remove the card. And so since this is cold water, it should not go into the hot water. As you can see, the blue cold water is not going into the hot water above it. And the reason why is that hot water in convection wants to go up and cold water wants to go down. Our next experiment is going to be just as interesting. So let's slightly move this over. Or if you're at home, you can just toss this water out. But I'm going to keep it here for the rest of the experiment. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to get another 2 cups. And then we're going to fill 1 cup with cold water. And it's okay if it spills over. And we're not going to put any food coloring in it this time. And in our 2nd cup, we're going to get red food coloring, because red means hot usually. And we're going to put a few drops in there. And then we will add our hot water to that cup. Next, we will get our card and put it on top of the hot water, like so. And then we're going to quickly flip this cup over on top of the cold water. Next, we're going to take out the card and make sure that the 2 cups are aligned. And look at that. The red water is not going down into the cold water. And as we see, the cold water did not mix with the hot water above, and the hot water in this cup did not mix with the cold water below. And in our last part of our experiment, we're going to get our 2 cups again. And the first thing that we're going to do this time, opposite of the other time, is that we're going to get our red food coloring and put it in 1 cup. And then we're going to pour our hot water inside of that cup. We're going to fill it completely. And in this cup, we're going to put our cold water and we're going to fill it completely. And then we're going to get our card and we're going to put it on top of the cold water. So this is different than the other times where we put the hot water on top of the cold water. This time we're putting the cold water on top of the hot. So let's see what happens. So quickly, line it, and then we're gonna remove the card. And can you see the hot water is moving into the cold water? The red went up, the hot water is rising. Remember that convection is when hot water wants to rise, rise means to go up, and cold wants to go down. So in this experiment, we saw that the hot water stayed on the top and the cold water stayed on the bottom. The cold water, that's with the blue food coloring, did not rise. We also learned that the hot water did not go down because the hot water is on the top and the cold water is on the bottom. And then here, we have the cold water on the top and the hot water on the bottom, and the hot water went upwards, and that's why the 2 mixed. As a bonus, let's see what would happen if we were to flip over the cups. So let's start with our first one, with the hot water on the top and the cold water on the bottom. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Hot water is rising. And the cold water is sinking. And now let's try it. Here's the hot water on the top, cold water on the bottom. Do you think they're gonna mix? I sure do. Oh, look at that, they mixed instantly. Convection is pretty interesting. So you learned that hot water wants to go up, cold water wants to go down. I hope you enjoyed today's science experiment. Be sure to do the worksheet in the description below to learn more about convection. See you all next time.